We do need to move on to our next two speakers. So I'm going to introduce both of them at the same time. They are Sam Whitted and James Baker. They're sitting here. And they are both share the distinction of having been former clients of Housing for New Hope. And they have graduated from their client status, and I believe Sam is working with Housing for New Hope, and James has a job at, get the school right, which school is it? Githens Middle School. But they both have kept their hands in issues dealing with homelessness and housing and issues related to that, and both have been advocating for that at multi-levels. So I'm going to let them explain how they do that. I'm going to ask Sam to come up here first.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope y'all doing great. My name is Sam Whitted. It says on the paperwork that I'm an advocate for, I'm a tenant advocate for Sherwood Park Efficiency Apartment. That means that Housing for New Hope has afforded the opportunity to see that former homeless people are put in a permanent supportive housing situation. And that's what I do. I'm sort of like the liaison between the permanent supporting clients and the management property of Sherwood Park. And that's what I do. I fight for their rights, and just in case something goes wrong, I'm there to see that it's done properly. A little bit about me. I'm born and bred right here in Durham, North Carolina. I've stayed here all my life. In fact, I used to stay right over here at Royal Oaks apartment. In fact, I was married. It's kind of ironic. I was just sitting there thinking. I was married in 1987, December 27. I remember because I picked that date. 2 years later, I got a notion in my head to leave my ex-wife, and that's what I did. And seemed like I left her on a Thursday. I think that Friday evening she took my name off the lease, and I became homeless myself. So, but my journey went on for many years, and basically I didn't know I was homeless, because I couch surfed from friends' houses, from relative houses, until my mother got wind of it. And then, she told me to come back home, and I came back home. But one thing increased, my use of drugs and alcohol increased, and that caused problems. And my mother gave me some tough love. She had a back porch. She had the back porch redone, and that's where I slept at. She afforded me the opportunity to come use the kitchen, the bathroom, and the TV room, and that was it. That was the only place that I could go. We stayed in East Durham on Angier Avenue. We stayed there for a long time. Fast forward, 1997, I was incarcerated, and I got the opportunity to go to jail. And when I got out of jail, I sought help, more help. I stayed in jail for 4 months, and after that, I came to the Phoenix House. Phoenix House is a transition house for Housing for New Hope, a transition house for homeless men. So I stayed there and did what I was supposed to do. And I was just thinking over there. One of the things that I remember was one day I was sitting at the table, and a guy, the CEO, back then we just called him Terry. He didn't have a title or anything. We just called him Terry. And he came in after a conference that they had, and he patted me on my back. I didn't know it at that time. I did not know it. And he patted me on my back and said, "I heard good things about you." And for me, that was the turning point in my, it was just a turning point. You see, I played sports in high school, and whenever you did something good, they acknowledged you, but you had to do something good. And I had a tight coach, when he did something bad, he was all up in it too. But, I didn't think I had did anything exceptional at the Phoenix House. I just thought I was, I got up every morning, went looking for a job, found a job, brought my check home, did what I was supposed to do, clean, cook. And so I didn't think I supposed to got into praise for that, but he patted me on my back and he said, "Job well done." And that stuck with me. In 1999, I graduated from the Phoenix House, and I told Terry at that particular time that if anything that you ever need me to do, call on me. And that was in 1999. It's 2013 now. I was a little late, but he called me. So I'm here today, y'all, and I'm here simply because of my love and my passion just to help somebody. You know, I'm an old country boy. My uncles were preachers, and they always say, you know, you got to go out and hope somebody. And that's what it's about for me, just going out hoping somebody. And I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things and to rectify some of the bad things that I've done. Don't know why I've managed to make the two ends meet closer, don't know. But I'm almost 60 years old, so I'm gonna keep trying until I can't do it anymore. I'm just gonna keep trying day by day. I've had the opportunity, upon graduating from the Phoenix House, I had the opportunity to start the alumni. I was one of the founding members that started the House for New Hope alumni. And we went on to do, great things. We mentor each other. We'll go to the jails and talk to people. We participate in the crop walk. We participate in the point in time count. So, and we even had the opportunity, and Lord forbid, y'all, we even had the opportunity to go to Capitol Hill and talk to the same senators that Lord had just got through talking about. We've had the opportunity to have a sit-down conversation with them and do some give and take. We've been on I remember when the 10-year plan to end homelessness first started, they came and interviewed the Housing for New Hope alumni so that they can get some feedback on how to ask the questions, on how to just do everything, and that was monumental because we were not the type of people that you came and sought information from. And now it looks like that what our past is paying for itself in the future by the things that we've done, and we just here to help. Whatever it takes to help, we're here to do it. And it was said that fortunately I work for Housing for New Hope, and I work in the capacity as the Tenant Advocate, and also work in another capacity. But they even did something real strange, y'all. They put me on the board of directors. Imagine that, huh? Hey. And that's, my mother passed away soon, a couple of months after I graduated from the Phoenix House, but man, I know she would be so proud to see her baby. I'm the oldest son, but she always called me baby. But I'm the oldest son, so she would be so proud of the things that I was afforded the opportunity to do. I'm not a world greatest speaker, but man, I've been asked to speak in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, and I've been asked to speak in front of 2 people. And my zeal and my zest is still the same. I love doing what I do, and just because I love sharing my experience. If it can help somebody, then I'm willing to do it. If it can give you a new idea on how to help us a little bit more, then I'm willing to do it. I told Terry, when I told Terry I would help, I meant cutting the grass, cutting the hedges, digging the ditch or something. I didn't know that I would have an opportunity to speak in front of people, and that has been a blessing to educate people on the plight of being homeless, and that's what it's about, y'all. Because not all homeless situations are the same. There's different scenarios. And a lot of people don't realize that, I wasn't the type that stayed in the shelter. I walked the streets all night. That was my thing. I have stayed in abandoned buildings. I have went without eating. I have, I tell this story a lot in my story, that I kept on the same pair of boots for a whole year. The only reason that I changed boots was because my sister saw fit to buy me a new pair every year. They came from Roses, Pick and Pay, stores like that. But they would, she saw fit to do that every year. So every year I would get a new pair of boots, and I tell people the heel on the boots was that small, and they stood up in the front like little leprechaun shoes. But I'm an open book. Any questions you want to ask me, anything, I have nothing to hide, and I will try to answer all questions. If there's something puzzling in your mind, I'll answer. I had to sign a consent form when I came in here. I said, I don't mind. I signed it real quick. But my name is Sam Whitted, y'all. Thank you for listening. Any questions, I'll be available.
And we'll have questions after James.
Good evening. Just in consideration for time, I definitely won't hold long. but I've had the opportunity to work with Housing for New Hope these last 2 years. I became acquainted with working with homeless after relocating here to North Carolina, in an effort to try to graduate, further my career back in 2010. And as Sam mentioned, one of the things that I've noticed there is not one face of what homeless actually looks like. It affects college graduates. You don't necessarily have to be an alcoholic, because that's what we're used to seeing. Those that stand on the corner and panhandle, things of that sort. But I found myself homeless, and it was definitely something that changed my life. My life will never be the same ever again. I understand now the need of so many people that's dealing with this issue that need our support. And it doesn't necessarily mean from a money standpoint, or just having that pat on the back, as Sam said, that really would change their life. I know when I experienced my situation, I didn't have anyone to call on other than my family at home. I could have gone home, but there's so many people that don't have family, that don't have friends, that don't have that loved one that they can actually call on. So it's up to our voices, those that are sincere about advocating about this issue, to create that change that's so much needed. Lloyd talked about an issue with a young girl that's in school, and she's hungry, and she goes to school and she can't study because her mind is on that fascination about the banana and that orange. And working in the middle school, I get to see these kids that are dealing with these situations, and a lot of times you don't understand why they're not unable to be focused and understand what you want them to do. But I've come across those kids that are going through these situations, and it's mind-boggling that anyone would allow this to actually happen to a young child. I know for me, staying in the homeless shelter, one of the things that gave me courage and to understand that there is light. I remember waking up 4 and 5 in the morning to leave out of the shelter downtown, and I would see mothers with 4, 5, 6 children. They weren't crying, they were not with their heads down, but they smiled and continuously said, "Baby, it's going to be all right. Get your breakfast, and let's get prepared for school today." And I remember vividly thinking about, how could I ever be down when this is a woman? I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have any children. I don't have anyone that I have to deal with. It's just me. How can I ever feel as if I need to give up or not feel that I can make it? So for me, that was definitely a clear sign that fight through this. One day you can actually be able to be that voice that for the voiceless. So like Sam, I remember after I went through the program and ready to restructuring the mindset and preparing myself for budgeting classes, I reached out to Terry as well, and I let him know, anything that you want me to do, I'm definitely here to do it. And I hadn't heard back from Terry. As you probably know, Terry is extremely busy. He's another person that's sincere about the work that he does. He's not doing it for the money. He's not doing it for the recognition or the fame. It's because he truly cares. I remember him giving me a call, and he asked, would you mind sharing your story? And I said, no problem, Terry. And and going back to Sam, I never would have imagined that a couple months later that he would have asked to serve on the board of directors, because he felt that I had a voice. He felt that there was something that I could do to further in this epidemic that's that's affecting so many across the country. And it's definitely been, outside of homeless, this has been probably the second best experience of my life. I also serve on a committee with Lloyd, where the Community Housing Committee for the Rapid Housing Initiative, where we're planning, and our goal for Housing for New Hope is to rehouse 45 families and 35 singles. We just housed our first family, if I'm not mistaken, a first family, a house of 6, one lady with 6 children, if I'm not mistaken. So that was definitely accomplished that we were very excited about it, and further moving on throughout the year. with the committee, we take those candidates through a situation where we rebuild the mindset, because they go through so many things, and their mind is just getting in housing. But our main goal is to make sure that if we house these individuals, we don't want them to go back in the same situation. So they go through budgeting classes, through counseling sessions. We have other members where they are able to talk to them if they have any questions or any advice. And you'll be amazed at some of the questions that you would think that these people, those that are dealing with homelessness, would know because they're adults, but they really don't know. So if they don't know, it's our job to make sure that we educate them so that way they don't go back to the situation that they're in. For you all that want more information, definitely feel free to visit our website, housingfornewhope.org. We work on basically taking individuals or families that's dealing with homelessness currently and placing them in permanent housing. So Terry has done a great job being the visionary of this organization, and we definitely look forward to continuing our support throughout Durham. I'll be sticking around for a while if you have any questions for me. Thank you so much for the platform.